Hi everyone. Apologies for earlier. I tried, or I thought I did, stream live in Instagram, and then was in a wonderful lavender farm that I did a long road trip for, and I wanted to share that with you. But it turns out, because I use my cellular coverage, it turns out that a lot of the parts of the video was not good quality. It froze a lot. So my apologies. And I'll do a quick one, basically saying the same things, because that message is not, or I should say, cannot be repeated enough. The more we talk about it, the more we share it, the easier it is for us to upgrade. The more people we reach out to, the more we share this knowledge, spread this knowledge, the better off we are as a society. It's such an important message. And I'm just a messenger. There are thousands and thousands of people talking about the same thing in different ways all around the world. And I am just a light worker, if you will, an astrologer. And it is, and also as my amazing teacher, Andrew Harvey, says, we are sacred activists. I really love the term that he coined, sacred activist. Not spiritual, but sacred. So I am a sacred activist, like so many of us. And I hope you are too. I hope you are also doing the best you can to help our society upgrade, to help our society confront what has been fundamentally wrong in our nation, in our society, confront it, and do something about it, to fix it, to get rid of all that is wrong once and for all, so that we can upgrade together and we can live in a society of true equals with compassion, love, and peace and joy. All right, so let's go back. First of all, happy solstice and summer eclipse. This eclipse is a very, very rare one. It happens thousands and thousands of years. Once in so many years, so many millennia. So why is it so rare? Well, because remember, solar eclipse, as the ones who have been watching my videos or reading my blogs kind of have an idea about it, that what's going on in usual, but just gonna repeat just in case. So solar eclipse, where the sun and the moon are together. Lunar eclipse, when sun and the moon are opposite of each other. We had a lunar eclipse June 5th. Now we are having a solar eclipse tonight, 1:41 a.m. Central Time, 2:41 a.m. Eastern Time, 11:41 p.m. Pacific Time. And then we have a third eclipse, another lunar eclipse, in about 2 weeks. So this solar eclipse is another highly influential one. It is at 0 degrees Cancer. Sun and moon are together at 0 degrees Cancer, and lunar node is also right there. It depends what degree it is, based on what school of thought you subscribe to. If it's mean lunar node, then it's about 29 degrees Gemini. If it's true, it's a little bit different. Nevertheless, Sun, Moon, Lunar Node together and aligned with the Galactic Center. It's a very, very special one. What makes it even more special for our nation is that it is also together with our nation's Venus. 3 degrees Cancer in the 7th house is our Venus. What is Venus? Venus, as you may all know by now, Venus is the planet that rules money and love. It is the language of love, how we love, how we relate to one another. So that's Venus. We have actually a cool Venus in Cancer. It's a sensitive one, but also the shadow side of it is being too sensitive. But it is a caring and a nurturing Venus. So we have actually good potential. And actually the moon in mundane astrology, that is about the countries, nations, birth charts. Moon is associated with public, with people like you and I, civilians. And it is in Aquarius. It is also in a wide orb, about less than 5 degrees. It is supporting this eclipse. It's in Aquarius, so it's about humanity. It's about humanitarian efforts, right? The way we should, or our core, I shouldn't say we should, but the way we are supposed to relate to one another. It's Aquarian way. It's about equality. It's about really a true humanitarian way. So that is our moon, and it is supporting the eclipse. Remember that. So we have that. It's a very interesting one. It's in our 3rd house, if I recall. I'm just speaking from memory. So it's in our 3rd house. It is supporting this eclipse. Again, the humanitarian ways. And our Venus, the nurturing Venus, the way we relate to one another, is right there. The sun and the moon and the lunar eclipse is shining light on that. It is in the house of, guess what? We house. Not me, but we, coming together as one. Need I say more? So this is a very, very, very special one, especially for all humanity, but especially for United States, especially for us. The universe, the powers that be, the waves of the sky are urging us to get our act together, to relate to one another with love, compassion, in a way that it would be honoring the Aquarian ways, the true equality. They are urging us to get rid of all the injustice in our society and build a society of true equals. That's really what this is all about. Saturn in retrograde in Aquarius, it is about riots. It is about saying enough is enough. Let's be equal. Let's get rid of all the gunk that is all the injustice that are causing us not to be equal, that are causing discrimination in our society. Let's get rid of all of it. That's what Saturn in retrograde in Aquarius is all about. And it is in our nation's 2nd house, self-value and also money. And it is at an exact 150 degrees to this eclipse, telling us it's a Uranian angle that is not easy to predict. So it is telling us expect the unexpected. So we better get our act together. Saturn is basically, I'm watching you. So it has two different impacts on our nation, right? From the way we relate to each other, from the love perspective, from the self-love, self-respect, and how we relate to each other. One aspect of Venus, and also from the finance perspective, from the money perspective. In the second house, in our nation's second house, and also Venus rules that. It rules, it's the natural ruler of the second house, and it is basically right there in this eclipse. So both our finances, economy, and the way we relate to each other, love, are affected. And we can do something about it. It is up to us, right? We have the free will. This is an amazing, amazing opportunity for us to rise as a nation, to rise up to this challenge. Say enough is enough, no more injustice, no more racial injustice, and let us rise above this all, let us get rid of all of this, and let us build our society of true equals with love, compassion, and peace. And we can be the global leader to everyone else in compassion, love, equality, the true Aquarian way of a society, of true equals. Again, because I have so much influence of Aquarius in my chart, it's so easy for me to visualize that. And I do hope that you too. I mean, I have been repeating myself in almost all my videos, but I cannot stress this enough. We are at crossroads as a nation. We have to make a decision soon. If we rise above all of this, take the challenge to confront that we have a problem and fix it, get rid of this injustice, and build a society of true equals, it's done. We can proudly, lovingly say that we are the leaders, and we lead the humanity to this utopia. And we live peacefully, compassionately, lovingly together. An amazing, wouldn't it be wonderful? An amazing opportunity. Of course, there are also other planets. I'm just, again, right now, recalling from the memory. We have transit Mars in Pisces squaring this eclipse. Pisces, divine love, and this is also in the third house, the communication. The moon, before we talked about the moon supporting this, it is in the third house, the house of brothers, sisters, siblings, cousins, the closest friends, our tribe. So, our moon, nation's moon, civilians, it is supporting this eclipse to treat each other equally, our brothers, our sisters, our cousins, everyone. We are together, we are in this together, and together we are strong. So, that was Moon supporting, and Mars in Pisces, in divine love, also in the third house, communication, again, the house of brothers, sisters, It's telling us, and Mars is about acting, how we act, how we, move, make a decision, and just act on it. So Mars is telling us, remember, from the heart, act from the heart. Everyone is your brother and sister, for everyone is your tribe. We are in the society of true equals. We are all in this together, and together we are strong. And it's just again telling us, I'm watching you by squaring to this eclipse. If you do not act with this divine love and with, as everyone is your brother and sister and your equals, we have a problem. Also, Chiron in a wide orb, about 9 degrees areas, so about 9-degree orb in a wide, so lesser effect, also squaring this eclipse. Guess what? In our fourth house, that is the house of our roots, our nation, and our karma. I mostly subscribe to the karmic astrology thoughts, among many, but mostly karmic astrology. So, however you want to look at it, it is our house, it is our nation, it is our home, it is our roots, our ancestors. And Chiron is the counter, the immortal, according to Greek mythology, who was wounded by a friendly arrow by his friend Hercules in a war. And he was in so much pain that he searched everywhere, looked for all these plants and the trees and trying to find a way to heal himself. He couldn't. But while he was searching to heal himself, he helped everyone else. And finally, Zeus, the god of all gods, rewarded him by allowing him to die so he could be rid of his pain. And that is what some of the doggies, tonight we don't have many birdies, but we have doggies. So Chiron is about that pain, that wound so deep in us that we usually in the beginning of our lives have hard time to face, to confront. But once we do, we get freer and freer. And by helping others, we help ourselves. Remember, most of our learning is through pathesis, through pain. So through this Chiron wound, through the pain it causes and the lessons we learn from that, we can, if we share it with others, if we help others through that, if we help others to heal, that helps us as well. The wounded healer, you may have heard of that. That is Chiron, the wounded healer. And each and every one of us, we all have our Chiron. Each and every one of us, we have our own wounds. We have our own ways of learning and healing. So our nation's Chiron is in Aries, in the toughest sign for Chiron. It's about identity. It's about really confronting the darkest sides parts of us, the shadows so deep that we have hard time to confront. And guess what? Right now, transit Chiron is also there, squaring this eclipse, telling us also, I am watching you. Confront this. Confront this identity problem that you have. Confront this deepest shadow, darkest side of you that you have. Fix this. You have a problem in your house. Fix it. Mars is telling us, communicate with everyone as if they are your brothers, sisters, with love and equals. They are your true equals. Saturn is telling us, I'm watching you. Enough is enough. Fix this. For both love and money, finances, we may have huge impacts. So everything is telling us to get our act together. And remember, we have Pluto return of our nation in about less than 2 years. In about 2 years. In 2022. So that's also telling us if we're not fixing, this is why we are at a crossroad. If we do not fix this, if we do not rise up to the challenge right now and get rid of all this racial injustice and of course also gender inequality and religion inequality, anything else, anything that is causing discrimination in our society, all the what's called microaggression or any ways, knowingly or unknowingly, intentionally or unintentionally, we are having discrimination, they need to be gone. We need to get rid of this. And we need to build a society of true equals, culturally real in our hearts, not pretense, truly equals. And right now, the universe, the waves of the sky, all the planets are urging us to do that. We have an amazing opportunity as a nation, and I do hope that we will rise up to that challenge and say yes. Or as my teacher, wonderful Andrew Harvey says, as sacred activists, we are all working on this. It's an amazing time to be alive. Celebrate that. I'm so borrowing from you, dear Andrew Harvey, that celebrate. He just told me yesterday in a call we had, and he just simply said, celebrate being here, celebrate being alive right now. He is so right. Sometimes we lose the perspective of that. Celebrate being here. We are in such an amazing and exciting times. We, again, Saturn laws take us to take responsibility. We can take the responsibility. We can confront what's wrong in our house, fix it, and build this society of true equals with love, compassion, and peace. So, my friends, that's what this eclipse is telling us. Again, I cannot stress enough how important it is for us to make a decision, hopefully the right decision, to rise up to this challenge. Otherwise, that Pluto return and the Pluto in Aquarius until 2044, we're going to get there. We get there by rising up to the challenge, taking the responsibility, and consciously, lovingly, caringly, compassionately, peacefully, we get there, or we get there. And also remember, an important part of taking responsibility is voting. So whomever you vote for, doesn't matter. What matters is the responsibility. Make sure that you take that responsibility very seriously and vote. Right now, we have these amazing movement about enough is enough. And now we need to go one step further, make our voice heard in November, and hopefully the right way. I'm not going to go into politics here. You pretty much probably guess what I am for, but not going to go there. And we speak through our votes in November, and we make changes. We elect the lawmakers who will make the changes about that will get rid of injustice in our society, the fundamental injustice in our society, so that we can start building the society of true equals. Very important. The right training, the laws that are not allowing, that are not tolerating any kind of injustice, the trainings that are not tolerating, especially for law enforcement agencies, that are not tolerating any kind of injustice. Very important. So, again, powers that be, waves of the sky are urging us. So, tonight, go within. I kept saying so many times, but I cannot say this enough. Go within tonight. Speak, think, feel your heart. Speak from your heart. Think from your heart. Align your mind and your heart. It is very important. The solar eclipse is going to have an impact on us for a few years. November election is part of that too. And stay compassionate, loving, caring, and peaceful. Very important. All right, friends. I thought I would do this in a few minutes, but again, I just kept talking. Apparently, for I am the messenger of the waves. So take care of yourselves. Take very good care of yourselves. Practice a lot of self-love and self-compassion. And I'll see you next time. Happy solstice and solar eclipse. And if you have any questions, thoughts, feel free to write me a comment. Take care.